shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely.
Bill!
What? A couple of things. I mean, one, we wanted to do a sort of multi-character caper, and you've got an awful lot of threads of story to set up when you're doing a story like that. And so we wanted a character who was immediately graspable. And as soon as you say Shakespeare, people know what he went on to become. And so there was sort of that side of it, and that's why, you know, our director, when we first started talking about a film, put forward that idea of what about Shakespeare. But also for us as writers, it's kind of tantalising because there's this hole in his life, and you know, historians know what he did in his early life, and that he was living in Stratford with a young family, and then he went on to write these great plays, but no one really knows what happened between the two, so you can kind of put anything in that little hole.
A bit of poetic license there, I guess.
Yeah, no one can say no, that's wrong.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe it was that.
Exactly.
I doubt it.
Probably not. Don't know about the music then. But
No, it's fair.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was, because it's a whole different discipline. It's all about the story. You've got to get the story, absolutely right before you even start to think about writing the dialogue and putting it on paper as such. So yeah, it's it takes a long time. It takes a long time to get the story right and get it to hold together.
It took months and months just sort of planning that stage before. But I mean, that does then mean that when we actually do the script, you know, with the first draft we did in about 3 or 4 weeks, and it was a really fun process because we'd done our homework. Yeah. So do your homework, kids.
For heaven's sake.
That is the message.
For heaven's sake, do your homework. Slightly, we read them when we slightly had to catch up because we're a little old. Sadly, they only came around when we'd sort of gone. I think would have been about 16 when the first ones came out.
Oh really?
Yeah, I know, it's depressing, isn't it? So we sort of discovered them when we started working on the series and working out how to kind of get the spirit of them but put them into a sketch show.
Okay, so I play King Philip II of Spain, who was I have decided to portray as a sort of dastardly Spanish rogue. In fact, he was the one character we didn't really dig into too much, didn't do too much research, because the character was so comic and sort of fully formed when we got to him.
Well, historically, he was a little older than we played.
Yeah, he was older, like but his intention was exactly that. He was the sort of, the right-hand man of the Pope, determined to bring down this rogue Protestant nation, and he was absolutely happy to let plots develop within England, and yeah, so that's me.
And I play Francis Walsingham, amongst others. I think the 6 of us play about 40 characters, but the main character is Walsingham, who's kind of a Elizabethan courtier, but also kind of he's a bit of a spy and a bit of a spy catcher, and he's a bit of a kind of shadowy figure, who was actually, historically, he died very recently. So we kind of brought him back to life in our film, suggesting that his death was because he was just in very deep cover.
Absolutely, yeah, of course. I mean, we're all huge fans, and particularly the films. And growing up, I adored the films. And when we started to think of the idea, we even started to think, well, look, we don't have to do too much scale like they did. We can shoot a little bit of scale, and then it's all about the comedy, and it's about the characters. And because it was multi-character, that made sense. So yeah, it was a definite influence.
I think there's an awful lot of influence between the kind of the 6 of us. There's so many different influences, and I've really loved the writing of Douglas Adams, which sort of, comes into play, and Matt's very physical and into clowning and things like that. So there's a lot of influences in it. So, but that one, we're very happy to take that comparison. I don't know how. If I was Monty Python, I think I'd be more upset about it.
Oh dear.
Well, I mean,
hey, look, if you want me to, I'll do it.
Sure. Is this because you know a financing?
I
right,
really
okay,
want
no.
you to do it.
Right, no, we're in there.
I
do
can
it,
give you
we'll
£5.
Deal, done.
Very low budget.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I thought
You
of
might
this
have to
yesterday.
be more detailed than that.
I loved the first scene that we shot where I, as King
Yeah.
Philip, come to meet Croydon for the first time. I loved that scene. I loved when we wrote it. I thought it's great. It's such a sort of uncomfortable meeting where he doesn't really hoodwink, because Croydon is such an idiot that he just falls for it all. It's a real pivotal scene. I love the sort of regal control and conniving that Philip has in that scene. And I also love the very end, which I'm not going to give away, but one of the little coda scenes. And I'll tell you after.
And I love there's a scene that we call the Inquisition scene. Again, I can't really go into detail, but there's one of my favourite moments in the film.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm dead.
Bill. In cinemas September 18th.